Hoops talk for the streets.
The Brooklyn Nets, man. We got to talk about the home team right now, fellas. Because they've been going through some troubles right now. Got to talk a little bit about James Harden. KD has been out now. It's been a couple of weeks. Probably still has a couple more to go. They said probably right after All-Star break, he may come back or maybe a week or two after. The Nets have lost 6 in a row, 2-7 since KD's injury, and now 6 in the East. 5-10 without KD this season. James Harden had a rather interesting game last night playing against the Sacramento Kings. They lost to 4 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists, 6 turnovers, shot 2 for 11. Fellas, do the Nets have a James Harden problem? Reem, I'm going to start with you first. There have been rumblings about James Harden possibly moving on to the 76ers. They say he's been looking over there. They said, he may be in contact with Daryl Morey. No tampering, but
collusion.
Maybe some collusion going on. Is it inevitable for James Harden to leave Brooklyn this season, or maybe is he looking a little frustrated? What are your thoughts on James Harden in Brooklyn right now with all of these rumblings going on?
Yo, he's the biggest crybaby that we got in the NBA as a star. He didn't play with some of the best talent out of all of them other than maybe Westbrook. And he's done the same results. He's still, he's 10 games short of what Westbrook played. Turnovers as high as the sky.
Yeah, he's leading the league in turnovers. Him and Westbrook.
Something ain't right. And then they saying reports that he just don't like the city. Is it the strip club thing? Because I damn sure know they ain't got no dope-ass strip clubs in Philly.
Oh yeah, really?
That ain't going to happen. You're going to live in Jersey. You might as well live in... you got to figure it out. I'm tired of the excuses with him. First, it was the free throws. And just show up and play.
Speaking of that you brought that up, did you see what he said recently after they played the Suns? He said, at this point, you can't touch nobody defensively. He said, or it'll be 2 free throws. The irony of James Harden saying that.
You mean you can't dribble and hook nobody without it being... Come on, man. I'm tired of him. They need to just ship him out. And what's messed up is he coming over here with all these rules and criterias and Kyrie not playing. And then my boy KD done already signed the extension. Like, y'all here to play ball, you here to look cute. James Harden, you had a lot of chances, my brother.
So do you think James Harden has a right to be frustrated with Kyrie being a part-time player, KD being out now, him apparently having to shoulder the load with the young pieces on the Nets?
He's a superstar.
Yes, of the highest order.
I'm going to give you a perfect example before I give up, Mike. CP3 went to OKC and did not cry. He got a team that was supposed to do nothing into the playoffs. Was the perfect vet. And guess what? Was rewarded for that. Moved on, got extra money. James, CP3 didn't have none of the talent that's on this Nets team around him. Man up, bro.
Tough words from Remo. Domo, talk to me. How you feeling about James Harden right now? And is it inevitable for him to leave Brooklyn? Is this the last year?
I mean, after KD left the situation he was in Golden State, I mean, anything is possible.
It's very possible.
So, I wouldn't be surprised if he was to leave, but then that just shows me that, he's a quitter. You don't sit there and thug it out. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta look at the bigger picture. Like, all 3 of y'all haven't really played that much games together.
No,
and when it's just one of y'all, when it's just one of them there, because he's always gonna be present.
Of course.
And I'm gonna talk about that. That's a whole other subject. Him being present in itself, that's a whole other subject. I'm gonna get to that in a second. But when Harden is always gonna be present. He's the more reliable out of the 3.
Out of the 3, the most constant.
Yeah, but if you go show up and be pouting, I don't get it.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna touch on that. I feel like when he's either with Kyrie or KD, they win games. When KD was there, they were just in the first spot. So him complaining doesn't really make sense to me because unfortunately, y'all just going through it right now. Y'all going through the emotions. You can't handle a little adversity because when KD comes back, You know what time it is.
See that, and I agree with you. That's one of my issues with him is that there shouldn't be any bitching right now. It's just a little adversity. It's the dog days of January. A lot of people go through shit throughout the season. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be highs and lows throughout the season. And listen, I'm going to be honest if nobody want to say it. Harden is low-key lazy. My son is lazy. He looks lazy on the court. The body language I don't really particularly care for. To me, he can show more effort. I mean, he's still phenomenal. What is he? 22-11, 22-8-11. The numbers still look sexy. Just like Joke, they're always gonna look nice. But I'm looking at body language. I'm looking at energy. I'm looking at attention to detail. He turns the ball over a lot.
He looks lazy. He looks lackadaisical out there. He really does.
Passes. If y'all see these bounce passes that James Harden be throwing, them shits is lazy as fuck. Lazy ass bounce passes. And I'm like, yo, fam, you can't. First of all, I don't know if he's pointing a finger at anybody. I'm not saying that he's doing that because nobody has said anything publicly, but he does visibly look a little frustrated. Kyrie, we know it might be a little issue with him being a part-time player, but I feel like, they kind of knew that a little bit. Not knew the part-time part, but they knew it might be an issue going into this season with this whole vaccine mandate with Kyrie. So I feel like he should have known already that, listen, I'm going to have to take this team on the back and really embrace the adversity. I don't feel like James is embracing the adversity right now because shit happens in a season. And it's not the playoffs yet.
Right.
This shit ain't...
And you know what else? Just? I think... You know what I think is really affecting him? I think it's the team that's surrounded around him is what's affecting him.
Not enough talent on this next team now?
No, I'm not saying it's not enough talent, but it's the type of talent they have. It's not like back in Houston where he had a bunch of shooters and the aerial assault that he could just throw it up to. It's not like that.
But see, with you saying that, that's the problem though, because you see in Houston, fellas, the team was all catered to his strengths. This is one of the first few teams he's had where it's not catered to his strengths. You have to adapt your game, Reem.
But it's not his team.
And that's what I'm getting to. That's why I feel like, yo, stop your crying, get in the gym, work on some new stuff on your craft, and get better until everybody is available. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna sit there, this is the wrong city to be here crying. If you're gonna be here crying, just like Julius Randle. If y'all don't be here crying, get us out of here. This ain't the city for you.
It's the worst city. So, Reem, do you feel like James Harden's heart is in the right place this season in Brooklyn?
I don't think he's here to actually win the chip. He want to play with some friends. So look at it like this. The reason I say that is because they're not in a bad position.
Not at all.
All he has to, his post-game comments be like, listen, we just trying to stay afloat and get healthy. We already know what this team looks like. Come playoff time, will be a problem. That's it.
What happened to all of the scary hours talk that he was talking about this whole time? Like, keep the same energy. Like, shit happens. Once you guys are healthy, you guys are a problem. And I don't think there's a team in the East that could really beat y'all toe-to-toe with everybody healthy on that team. So
home court advantage or not, that's why it's kind of weird to me. Like, why are you even complaining?
Yeah, which means, and the fact that there are rumblings of him complaining means to me, and what I'm thinking, I think maybe coming here, maybe was always temporary for James Harden. I think when he left Houston, there weren't too many suitors on the docket. Remember how he left Houston? He wanted to be out. He came in fat, out of shape, and he was really asking his way out. And the KD called him and was like, yo, we can make some room for you over here. And I think maybe the pitch to James Harden to come here was like, yo, come here next couple of years, try it out.
Get up out of here.
And to see how you feel about it. Let's try it out for 2 years, see how far we can go, 2-3 years. And then you make your decision. I think right now is what they probably always were planning to do was at the end of the season, if we don't win a chip in these 2 years, I might have to look elsewhere.
I personally think his issue might be with the coaching. He's being coached by a point guard. And the way he turns over the ball is probably so disappointing in Nash. Like, this is this is not candy. This is gold. And to see him top of the league, turn over remember, people underlook this for whatever reason. They be on Westbrook ass. Those two players alone have been the leaders in turnovers for the last 4 years.
Yes. Probably more than that.
like 2-2. They both had him separately for the last 4 years. So if you didn't take nothing that you learned from Houston and lead that in Houston, it was the turnovers. So now you're losing, but you're the top of the heap with that. You gotta look at the mirror for that.
Exactly. And to me, I'm just not liking the body language that I've been seeing lately. And I know he can be frustrated. You know, it's always it's okay to be frustrated throughout the season, but brother still got a hoop, man. And I know he may be maybe a little upset about the Kyrie issue that he can only play in away games, but you see the deal when Kyrie is there. I mean, Kyrie's still nasty. Kyrie's still the same Kyrie.
Dirty.
Still giving you 23 a night. Oh, you only played 10 games this season. So now, so let me ask you fellas, do you feel like the Nets can still win a title this season with a part-time Kyrie?
Of course.
You think they
and
can?
Here's why. Of course, because they almost made the finals last year if KD's shoe size was a foot size smaller. With a hobbled Harden.
A hobbled Harden.
Now Harden
Kyrie out.
Right. So Harden is healthy. That's all you need. And then you got Kyrie at the away games. It's impossible for them to lose.
I don't know.
All right, let me not say impossible, but they can easily get a game on the road.
But they could easily give up a game at home, and then they might need to make it on the road.
Well, Kyrie can get you all of them road games.
But he hasn't shown that now. They lost the last 3.
Yeah, they lost on a 6-game losing streak right now, even when he has been.
Kyrie been on the road with them.
Yeah, and they actually can't give up a game in Brooklyn because, as we know, the Barclays home court advantage is really not that crazy. Nah. I mean, it's not that crazy. So a road team could come up in here and win a game in the Barclays.
No, but Damo, what I'm saying is if they...
That's just me putting my faith in KD, man.
That's if...
Healthy KD...
But that's if he risks it. If he risks it to come back, like, you don't know what that situation gonna look like. You're still missing Joe Harris too.
Joe Harris needs to come back.
The problem is the man that we spoke about before is Embiid will eat everybody in there food.
See, so who are the Nets? Who y'all feel like is the Nets' biggest competition right now or the toughest competition right now for the Nets in the playoffs? Who's one team that you think can beat them? Everybody healthy.
Miami.
I would go Miami as well. Domo, any team?
I'm gonna say Philly. Because the wild card right now for them to get to the finals for me is Tyrese Maxey. So it's all depending on how great he played.
Oh,
but we know Embiid is gonna dominate.
Slow down, bro. I get it. Maxey playing good, but he ain't the key.
You gonna have to be guarding Kyrie in that kind of series.
He got Kyrie or Harden. He gotta choose one to get cooked up by.
Yeah, but it's not like Philly is full on deep. They got people that could defend. They got Thibault over there. He ain't no slouch.
But he gonna have to guard one or the other is what I'm saying.
Well, the Nets gonna have an issue guarding Embiid, obviously, clearly, because you're gonna have to put Claxton or Aldridge.
Thibault is gonna be guarding probably KD.
Yeah, or Tobias.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Tobias is definitely getting work.
Right, he get 50.
Thibault's probably gonna have to guard KD and
there's a mismatch.
Yeah, well, Danny Green will have to guard Embiid. I mean Harden.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Danny Buckets Green.
His knees is done.
Oh man, that'd be funny. Yeah, they're going to be interesting. I don't know, because he may have to be part-time Kyrie for the rest of the season, because I don't see them taking that mandate off. I don't see them listening.
Yo, for me personally, the Nets, they need to pay that fine, man.
It's not crazy.
It's not that crazy.
Yeah, it's like 5,000.
Yeah.
They got the bread.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to that shit too.
Word.
I don't know.
I'm about to go on Flatbush, man, and be like, yeah, with the poster, man. Pay the fine, man. Let my boy play.
Nah, for real, man. So they definitely need it in these next couple of games, because it looks like they're losing their chemistry. Even though they do have a lot of young pieces playing right now, they gotta get together, because the East could be slipping away, man. The East is a bloodbath.